I've got it! I've come up with a new recipe, and Ignis's new recipe is how to make a game just magically start printing money. And that's Final Fantasy 15, though it does make sense considering the amount of hype and marketing behind the game, something that Square Enix honestly has been really good at ever since the 32-bit era, whenever they decided that Final Fantasy 7 was going to be known world-round, no matter if you were into RPGs or not. Even if you didn't like the fucking genre, you knew this shit existed. Final Fantasy 15 is now the fastest selling game in the entire series, to date. So we don't know about future installments within the series, but obviously this is a milestone for Square Enix, because this franchise has been going for a long-ass time. They're soon going to be celebrating the 30th anniversary, and tons of different things are going to be announced and showcased to the entire world, much to my enjoyment, because I'm a big-time Final Fantasy fan. But hearing that this was the fastest-selling Final Fantasy, I was kind of hyped up about that and happy. I'm currently hovering around the 70-hour mark. I already did a live stream on Twitch talking about Final Fantasy 15 at great length to see that it's selling as well as it is, and you know, it's a holiday season, so lots of people are out there going buying this shit. It doesn't really make me all that shocked. I mean, we are talking about a game that has been in development for a really fucking long time, but that has given us Final Fantasy 13, 13-2, 13-3. Now we're getting Final Fantasy 15 out of it, and granted, how you feel about the entire 13 series, well, that's not going to matter, because we were focusing on 15. And considering that FF15 is the newest installment, and they're going to be putting out boatloads of content. They actually put out a Christmas pack just today. There's going to be a lot of stuff keeping this game interesting for people for quite a few months well on into the future, and who knows what else they have planned for this. Considering how big the fucking world is, I can imagine it'll be quite a bit. I just want more story. I'm always all about more story, so that's fine. And Final Fantasy 15 doesn't just stop at being a game. You have to keep in mind that we have Brotherhood and Kingsglaive. So a movie and an anime that go right along with this to go and flesh out the world just a bit more and expand upon all the lore in the universe as a whole that is Final Fantasy 15. And it's so strange to think that when they originally embarked on creating this game, that it was going to be affiliated and associated with Final Fantasy 13, and when you play them back to back, they feel like night and day. The games are absolutely nothing whatsoever alike, and that's probably for the better. But it's also interesting to note that this game seems like this is going to end up being the blueprint for what we're going to expect out of Final Fantasy VII, the remake. And that's something that we'll be able to go and enjoy next year. But with the 30th anniversary, this is a good way for them to go and celebrate it. And, I mean, you got the fastest selling game in an entire franchise that is one of the actual crown jewels within the JRPG genre. So, Square Enix is probably pretty fucking happy, right? But we don't know what the sales are going to be later on. This is just day one sales, 5 million. 5 fucking million within a day. That's across physical and digital. I found it to be impressive because this was some of the only times that I've seen console gaming go and even acknowledge that they have digital sales, because it's really odd. If you ever end up seeing any kind of tracking about game sales, there's a lot of times they just completely exclude PC sales and digitally downloaded sales. So if you got your PlayStation and Xbox One hooked up and there was tons of downloads for that, they act like they don't exist and they just focus completely on the physical sales. Don't know why. I always thought that was kind of weird. But right now, out of the main core franchise, Final Fantasy VII, and no, I'm not counting Final Fantasy XIV or Final Fantasy XI. Those don't fucking count. I'm talking about just the main non-online entries. Final Fantasy VII is still the best-selling entry out of it, and we don't even know the up-to-date sales on that, considering that was re-released on PSN, on Steam, and then again on PlayStation 4, so we didn't even get to count in those sales. Oh, and originally when it came out on PC, so all the sales that we've seen for have been strictly and exclusively just for PS1, and that's it. So then we got the FF7 remake coming out, but Final Fantasy 15 doing this well, I'm expecting more for this. I mean, Noctis and crew, I've been enjoying my adventure with it so much, I eventually will blaze through the rest of the chapters. Currently, right now, I'm doing shit tons upon shit tons of side quests within the game, and I want to go about eventually beating the game, and then I'll do a review of it, because I have a lot to say about the game, most of which I could go and conduct right here, but that would make the entire point of doing the review redundant, so I'm not going to do something like that. But all I can say is that this game has been an absolute treat. For anybody out there that has been on the fence about getting it, give it a shot and just be your own judge. Don't give a shit. Like, I've never given a shit what anybody else has had to say until I experienced it for myself, because you can get a vague idea and understanding of what a game may be like because you respect an individual's opinion, but they aren't you, so you don't know what it's going to be like. I can tell you all that the game is one of the best fucking Final Fantasies in the entire world, but until you play it, I mean, is my opinion going to apply for yours? That wouldn't make any sense. It's your individual experience. But fastest selling Final Fantasy. Can they go and keep this up? I mean, we were talking about day one sales. We all know what this shit's going to be like at the end of the month, and keep in mind that the holiday season really doesn't end until sometime in February. Yes, the holiday season sales go from November, sometimes October, but typically from November to February. So that entire blockade of months right there, they have to go and tally up those figures, because you have lots of people who are doing seasonal shopping for the holidays, and then lots of people who are doing shopping afterwards, because there's plenty of gift cards that have been given out and plenty of cash that's just been handed over because motherfuckers got loot in their fists and they want to go out there and they want to get rid of it and go pick up shit that they really want. I mean, I've seen that this game has been streamed a whole fuck ton, talked about a whole fuck ton. I mean, it's kind of an inescapable entity right now within the video game universe, so it's not all that shocking that's doing as well as it is, and considering that it's a big-time franchise. But this is good news, considering that if you look at the overall sales for something like Final Fantasy XIII, for example, it totaled out to just over 5 million on PlayStation 3 alone. And that was worldwide sales, altogether tallied up throughout its existence. And then additional like 2 million or so on Xbox 360. So that right there, you've got 7 million versus 5 million day one. That is insane. I don't know about the total sales figures of Final Fantasy 13-2 and 13-3, and then combining all that shit together and then comparing it, but I can almost guarantee that 100% that this is going to eclipse both of those. Whether or not it goes and catches up to the likes of something like Final Fantasy VII remains to be seen, but it's well on its way to being able to do exactly that. And this only spells better things for the future of the franchise, because if many people are this invested to buy this many damn copies of the game, because keep in mind, the Ultimate Edition, there was what, like 30,000 of those made, and I forget if they actually went through with the re-release of it and put out more, and if they did, I don't know exactly how many units it was, but that shit sold out in a matter of minutes, and that was 30,000 within a couple of minutes, just for the Ultimate Collector's Edition. And if you didn't check out my unboxing of it, you really should. Yes, I can go and plug my own videos on my own channel. Fuck you. It just makes sense. Anyhow. Oh, and I'll be posting the Final Fantasy 15 Let's Play at some point on my channel, so be on the lookout for that. But overall, this is just good news. I like hearing stuff about this. Now I'm just hoping that Persona 5 does better in sales than Persona 4 did. I mean, Persona 4, that's the Persona's version of Final Fantasy 7 in a lot of ways. Persona 4 is what got a lot of people into that franchise, so I'm hoping that one does just as well. But 15 has been something that, ever since it was called Versus 13, I've been keeping a close eye on this ship. And in some ways, I kept on worrying, is this going to become vaporware? I'm so worried about this. And now that I've had the game in my hands, I've been playing the ever-loving fuck out of it. I've been so fucking happy, and I can say that it does justify and warrant the day one sales of over 5 million copies sold and still going. So at the end of the holiday season, Christmas is this weekend. So there's going to be plenty more, and after that, we have lots more to go. Do you think that's going to be able to keep this up? And after they have all the downloadable content that comes out through the Season Pass and all the other shit that they decide to go and invest, we do have versions that'll probably come out being like the Ultimate Complete Edition of Final Fantasy 15. They'll have some extras and have all that content included on it, so expect that. And then there's that Final Fantasy Collector's Edition that's supposed to be coming out that includes 1 through 15. So 15 will actually be on there, so any of those that get sold will also count towards this. And it's a pretty insane little limited edition that they have coming out. I need to go and make a video about that, because that shit is just astronomically fucking awesome, and some shit that I've been pining for day in and day out for years now, so I'm just glad that Square Enix is actually listening. But good news is good news, and I like ending the year on high notes like this because, well, this makes me fucking smile. Big fan of role-playing game genre, big fan of Final Fantasy. I'm just glad to see that 13 is a thing in the past, despite the fact that the sequels are honestly and admittedly a lot better than the original, but it was still one of those entries in the franchise that most people would rather just forget about, despite the fact I know that there's people watching right now who will be like, I'm a big fan of it! Well, a lot of people weren't, and they were kind of disappointed in that, and that's kind of hard to go and refute and ignore. Just, you gotta accept it is what it is. Anyhow, FF15, fastest selling Final Fantasy in the entire series history. That's pretty fucking awesome. This is AlphaOmegaSin, as always, nerds, nerdettes, and gamers game the fuck on!